Howdy gang, Eric here, back with another standard video. This time, Avatar The Last Airbender set just dropped. And for me personally, the card that I'm most excited about is the Earth King. The Earth King is a 4-mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 green bear creature token. And whenever one or more creatures you control with power 4 or greater attack, search your library for up to that many basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. And I wanted to build a deck around this idea of swinging with a bunch of 4-power creatures, maximizing these land drops, and just playing the Earth King as quickly as possible. So we built this, once again, green-white. I know, the last couple videos have been green-white, but it's just kind of my wheelhouse. It's where my headspace is at. Sort of aggro, sort of ramp deck, focused on, really built around Heirloom, first and foremost. We have a lot of 4-power matter stuff and a lot of 4-power creatures to support that. Plus, Heirloom, it lets you cast creature spells, and it says, and you can tap it until end of turn. Target creature you control with power 4 or greater gains trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Okay. Trample is really the most important thing. So it ramps us up to 4, allowing to play our 4 drops on turn 3, and lets us give our Lumbering World Wagon or Mightform Harmonizer trample, essentially. Or a big bear or whatever. A lot of our other stuff has trample already, but we can use the Heirloom still on them to draw cards. Okay, cool. Why Mightform Harmonizer and Lumbering World Wagon? Well, if you're not familiar with Mightform Harmonizer, this card does some incredible stuff. It's a 4-mana 4/4. It has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, double the power of target creature you control until end of turn, and you can warp it on 3 mana. So if you need to, if your mana is a little tight, you can warp this out on 3 and still get the effect. So it's like a Tifa, right, that you can target other creatures with. Sweet. And it combos very well with Lumbering World Wagon, who not only generates land drops on entering the battlefield, right, but when it attacks, it makes these land drops. So if you have 4 lands, a Lumbering World Wagon in play, and an extra land in hand, and you go Mightform Harmonizer, either cast it or warp it, whatever, through the World Wagon, play the land, the World Wagon will become a 10/4. You swing, get another land drop from the attack trigger, hit your opponent for 22 to the face, and kill them. And that's why the Heirloom is so critical here, because it lets us trample over little weenies that are blocking up the field. Okay. Earth King is a new card that actually does something very similar to the World Wagon in this scenario. More landfall triggers when we attack, and not just one, but multiple, depending on how many attacking creatures you have, which could be pretty relevant. All of this is a nice little landfall package here. As far as the supporting crew goes, we're playing 4 Llanowar Elves. Pretty simple. 4 Insidious Fungus. This card is very flexible. The main reason we're including it here is because it helps us get from to 4 mana as quickly as possible, basically. So you play this on 1, activate its ability on 2, you untap with 4 mana, so you can cast your relevant 4 drops. It's also searchable with Bright Glass Gearhulk, which we're playing 4 of. Bright Glass is just a great general Mightform Harmonizer target. It swings in very reliably, very freely, very often as like an 8/4 first strike trample, which is pretty impossible to block. A couple Pawpatch Recruit, a couple Goldvein Hydra. Now, Goldvein Hydra is just the biggest thing that you can find off of Bright Glass Gearhulk. It works really well with Heirloom, being able to cast it for big, consistently attack in, garner some value with the Heirloom. And it's a great way that we can win against control decks, which are going to be a little challenging to beat. You'll see we have a bit of a plan for that. And to round out the gang, a couple Seam Rips. Just solid removal, very versatile. Findable off the Gearhulks. Couple Sheltered by Ghosts. Our creatures are pretty big. Sometimes you just put a Sheltered by Ghost on your creature in the aggro matchups and you just win. And 1 Scouring Storm Soul, aka Sandman. we will have a lot of lands on the field. And this guy will be big, it'll be resilient. We're playing 4 Fabled Passages with which you can fetch for extra landfall triggers for the Harmonizer, but also use to consistently recur your Storm Soul. Okay. As for the lands, like I said, 4 Fabled Passages for additional landfall triggers. A Cavern of Souls, pretty good in the control matchup if you're playing against a deck with counterspells, obviously. We're going pretty heavy on the basics because we're so, pulling basics from our deck is so necessary here. And 1 Valgavoth's Lair, which you can find off Brightglass Gearhulk. Hitting your land drops in this deck is very important. Having that extra flexibility of, I can tap out and play Gearhulk, but I don't have any land drops after that. Being able to find more and more land drops, it just helps everything run smoothly. Couple Lush Portico, couple Prairies. Having the tapped lands is not a huge deal, especially with our Fungus, which lets us go untapped land, drop in our tapped land, and then untap and go off. As for our sideboard today, we're running an extra Goldvein Hydra for those grindy control matchups, an extra Cavern of Souls for, once again, those grindy control matchups where our late game plan becomes resolve a Gearhulk, get Hydras, resolve our Hydras. So we need some support in doing that. 1 Basilisk Collar. Our guys are big. We have a Gearhulk, or we're playing Gearhulks. We can find that and stabilize in sort of aggressive matchups. Or Soul Guide Lantern. Lots of graveyard decks in the meta right now. Authority. This goes well against any decks with hasty creatures. Unsuspecting. You might not realize it, I suppose, or think about it, but it's also very good against the Teamer Devastating Onslaught combo deck. Just turning off that combo completely can be very important. And some extra removal to round everything out. Elspeth's Mites, Get Losts, and 3 Day of Judgments. Now, Day of Judgment can be a little weird because we're such a creature-heavy deck, but the meta right now is just so full of these greedy, go wide, play out my board, play out my Badgermole Cubs, and just hope that nothing happens to it. Day of Judgment is our answer to that. It's people might not expect you to have it because we're such a creature heavy deck. You just hold back your creatures, right? Or you play out your Lumbering World Wagon and you're still progressing your game plan, but then you get to wipe the board. So it's a huge way for us to garner card advantage and stabilize and survive against those sort of greedy go wide decks. Okay, I've been playing this deck a bit this morning. Let's jump into some matches here. I think I'll maybe play... let's start with 3, see how it goes. Hop on the ladder. Looking forward to it. I really have been enjoying... I've been enjoying the Earth King quite a lot. I think people have not really been talking about him too much, which I find a little surprising. He's at base 4 mana for 6 power, 6 toughness is very good. It's very good, and he's got pretty relevant abilities. Separate Bodies is often very good. We're just gonna mulligan this. It's just too many lands. This is good. It has the combo, right? We're just gonna ditch the Gearhulk. We want to guarantee that we get to our World Wagon here, so we're not going to risk putting back any lands or anything like that. The Sheltered by Ghosts is a little awkward here, but it can help clear a blocker when we're going off. Okay, looks like we're against some kind of classic Dimir bounce list. I feel like I'm being transported back about 6 months. They might not expect that we have the goods, though. I mean, they're going wide, but it might not matter. We'll see what kind of interaction they decide to hold up. We'll play the fungus. Fungus might be enough to like make them think about pushing through damage. Like if I block here and say they have nowhere to run or something like that. Okay. Yeah, they're just dead. And that's just how this works sometimes. That's the power of this combo, which I've been playing for a little while now in various iterations. That's why I keep coming back to it, because it's just so good. Play a land drop, you give it trample, and you swing out. With our extra land drop, double again, 22 power, trampling. They can block, we have trample. Pretty good, right? Pretty good, right? I think you gotta love it. Okay, against this list. We're pretty good here. I think Authority of the Consuls is interesting if they go, say they're on like the Cosmic Grand Zenith plan. We didn't see any white, but it's very likely that this is just like the Esper bounce list. And that incidental life gain can help us get into, survive into the late game. I'm going to bring a Day of Judgment as well. I think I'm happy to see one. I don't think I'm happy to see a ton, but this might help us restabilize if they have a very like on the board aggressive start. Do I want a second one? I'm gonna go down one Hydra and bring in another Day of Judgment. I think I don't think they'll expect it. I think that's like the main reason to bring it in. They won't expect it. They'll play out their board or play out their hand as quickly as possible, and it'll give us the opportunity. Okay, a couple Earth Kings. The mana in this hand is a little awkward, but I think I'm gonna keep it. Okay, well that's huge. This changes everything. This actually gives us the option to like Fabled Passage and Sheltered by Ghosts, whatever their turn 2 play is here. They could be on Kaito. Get Lost. I wonder if this is like a weird bastardized just Dimir like tempo list that they just also happen to be playing Otter Talent. I think I'm just gonna Sheltered by Ghost this. It's pretty soft to nowhere to run, but at the end of the day, they just get a Spyglass Siren back, and I'm keeping them off of like a fast Kaito. I think that's okay. I could be reading this wrong. I think the bounce lists also play Kaito, so probably not the worst idea. This was also why I kept this hand. I had an inkling they may have been on Tiny Bones. I'm just gonna get rid of the elf here, actually. Okay. Ooh, Gearhulk. Well, I do like the Earth King, but I am gonna play the Gearhulk now while it's while the coast is clear. We can get our typically in this kind of matchup, Paw Patch is just very good. But I think the first Authority of the Consuls is pretty interesting as well. So I'm gonna grab Paw Patch and Authority. And then we have a lot of options. We could play the Earth King next turn and swing with our Gearhulk to start getting our mana open. Like I said, ultimately this is a ramp deck, right? Where our big payoffs are having access to a lot of mana and playing a big Hydra or doing a lot of game actions with our Gearhulk, basically. So opening up our mana is pretty appealing. Tiny Bones joins up. I think if they're on this line, I'm okay with getting rid of the Consuls. Although, what are the odds that they like actually deal with my Earth King? You know, If I just play one out, are they going to try to even kill it? Is there a reason to hold a second one? Probably not. Hard to say. Okay. Doing pretty okay, I think. Yeah, let's just play the Earth King. Get our mana going and play the Authority of the Consuls. And then this lets us just keep attacking very aggressively. All of their creatures are going to come in tapped. We're opening up our mana quite a lot. And then we have Seam Rip to get through blockers next turn. It's this kind of position that makes me wonder, do we have like sufficient payoff for this ramp thing? We're ramping a lot, and yes, we want like those landfall triggers. That's probably more important than having a lot of mana. But I wonder if there's more that we could be doing with this. Like as opposed to like one Heirloom, maybe we play some effect that just draws us a lot of cards for some amount of mana, like Season of Weaving, whatever the green one is, could be an interesting idea. Let us play the Podpatch Recruit. I think they're just gonna probably play Enduring Curiosity here. I'm just gonna play out my hand and attack. If they want to block, oh, they can't even block. Authority of the Consuls. We're doing great. Day of Judgment looks a little weird, I'll admit here, being so on the board, but I didn't expect to be as on the board as I am. You know, they just happen to dirtle around quite a lot and have not done anything, basically. So I'm feeling pretty good here. Pretty likely that we just end up swinging with everything next turn. Unless maybe they pass and hold up a Soulstone. Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty good. They might counter this. If they counter this, then they don't have the mana to also like activate their manland. I think we just swing out. We get 2 landfall triggers. Sweet. And I think we're just going to spread the love. So if we like, I guess we could pretty freely put one on the Gear Hulk, and then pretty freely put one on like the Podpatch Recruit. And then if they target the Gear Hulk, I think, yeah, sweet. Okay, I mean, hey, Earth King. It did it found us some lands kind of in that critical moment. We had two sweet attackers in the Bear and the Break Glass Gear Hulk. Looked sweet. Not really a hurt Heirloom match, turns out there, but we got to see the Earth King do his thing a little bit. Awesome. Match number 2. Deimos. Fungus. Start. It's fine. I mean, it'd be nice to have like actual payoffs right now, but the nice thing about the fungus is that it lets us see some additional cards. That's not bad. Let's just lead on the fungus. I don't think we want to Seam Rip this quite yet. They might play the Jackal card, whatever her Through the Omen Path's name is. I don't know, but yeah, I think we're happy to hit this with a Seam Rip here. And I think we can pretty freely play out another fungus. Fungus looks a little awkward here, I must admit, like compared to something like Gene Pollinator, which in this position would actually be able to like tap for mana. It's pretty hard to evaluate this card. It has a lot of words, but sometimes it is just a 1/2, and a clunky one at that. It always replaces itself, which is nice, but when we're in a we've like sort of out-tempoed them early by clearing their 2-mana threat with our 1-mana threat. It'd be also nice in this position to be able to play out clearing their 2-mana card with our 1-mana card. It'd be nice to be able to also play out a Herd Heirloom to really kind of seal the deal there, but okay. If we get Paw Patch Recruit on the field, it makes their Beastbinder pretty awkward. And actually, this means that we can block and kill the Beastbinder if they don't play an Ouroboroid. And we're kind of setting up for a big Harmonizer turn by leaving back this Fabled Passage here. If they have Ouroboroid, I'm kind of screwed, maybe. It'd be pretty hard to... It's not impossible to generate enough power, like trampling power, to get through everything. But I would need to, like, draw a Lumbering World Wagon right now, I think, for that to be the case. And even then, they have the Beastbinder, which is very good against the World Wagon plan. Kind of in a predicament. Depends on what they have here. Looks like it's not an Ouroboroid. Could be an Enduring Curiosity. No. Okay. Sweet. Interesting. If we assume that they have, like, Flood Pits Drowner, and, I mean, I'm threatening, like, quite a few land drops here. So I can go Harmonizer, Warp, land, double to 4, fetch, double to 8, and then Fungus, double to 16. As a big trampler, and I get to swing with everything else. But if they have... Flood Pits Drowner, they have to, like, target something at the very least. So that's never a horrible outcome. They might have nothing. Maybe they have nothing. Did I miscount? Oh, I don't have the mana to also put in. I think I miscounted. That's okay. We can still hit them for big. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm okay if they choose to block here. Let's grab a... We have double white, but let's grab a plains anyway. Bye-bye, Harmonizer. We'll see you again next turn, maybe. Kind of seems like they're fumbling a little, you know, which is great for us. I wonder if they have like a handful of 1-drops and they're just waiting to draw another Druneth, Reviver of the Hive. Whoa. Scoops it up. Weird. Their hand must have been awful. Day of Judgments. That's what this is for. That's what these are for. We can probably go down a land on the draw. Probably cut our Cavern of Souls. They are blue, but I don't think this list typically plays any counter magic. At least like to interact with creature decks. Basilisk Collar is pretty decent. Forward of the Consoles is interesting. I think it's more important probably to just like play targeted removal to deal with the Ouroboroid. We can go down a big Hydra. I don't think that's typically the way we're winning this game. Steam Rips are good. Fungus is a little awkward. Let's just cut a couple Fungus. Herd Heirloom's a little important. Pretty important. Pretty important. I think we can cut another Hydra. I don't think it's probably what we're going to be wanting to grab. Better Sheltered by Ghosts. It's a little awkward to be on Sheltered by Ghosts and Day of Judgment. Try it like that. Plus, it's not that good in the matchup anyway. It can be good if they don't like proceed to play out a bunch of stuff. But the way this deck operates is it's just playing creatures basically, right? The idea is you just present a big board, and hope that you untap with your Ouroboroid and win. So if my goal to counteract that is wiping the board, playing Sheltered by Ghosts early might put me in a situation where I'm like leaving them with something again after a board wipe, which I don't really think I want to be doing. So I think the first one's okay. Solid hand. We'll keep it. We have Fungus into turn 3 Wagon. Quite a lot of land on the field. Mana on the field. Lands on the field. Or we could do turn 3 Earth King. I'm pretty sure you just always want to lead on your wagons. Oh. Your Hulk is good, though. A nice little additional element of the Fungus is like being able to gain life here, essentially, by blocking. We are going to put a Forest into play. Basilisk Collar ain't bad. I like the looks of the Gear Hulk. Yeah. Or we could go Wagon, Collar, and then next turn, 5th land. Sorry, 6th land. Wagon, Collar. We're at 5 lands because we played the Wagon. Untap 6th land, Earth King. Crew up Wagon, equip the Collar, swing. Gain a lot of life. You know what would be very good right now? Day of Judgment. Okay, we get to hold the fetch back. I think we're just going to play the Gear Hulk. Because it's the best like defensive option against this board as well. And we do have to survive. Let's just grab a couple Seam Rips. They don't have any rabbits right now. Any Paw Patch recruits. We can clean up the Badgermole Cub. Badgermole Cub, by the way, has been pretty good, I think. It's disgusting in this deck. Okay, so there's a Paw Patch. Goes wide, ramps you into turn 3 Ouroboroid. Like, what more could you want? Just it lets you like just poop out so many creatures. Double Talent. I think I'm doing okay. I could be wrong, but I think I'm doing okay. At the very least, I can clean up the talents with the Seam Rips. And then they're left with what? Like, oh, well, I mean, that's very good for them. Fuck. Oh, no. Okay. Day of Judgment off the top. Not ideal. Maybe I just like play the Collar. Equip the Collar. At the very least, that makes it pretty tough for them to attack into me next turn profitably. Clean up the talents. I kind of like that. Clean up the talents. This keeps their Ouroboroid situation a little in check for now. Play Collar on my Gear Hulk. I think I'm still alive at the very least. And then hope that we draw a board wipe. Because if I just play the Wagon there, I think I'm probably just dead. I didn't do the math, but feels like I'm just dead there. And this gives us some outs, maybe. Like, oh gosh, another map. I love this card, Sentinel of the Nameless City. I think this is a fun card to play against. I'm not that fond of Ouroboroid as a card, as an idea. So they have, I think this is lethal. Yeah, I think it's Xaxes. Block their biggest thing. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're up, sorry, not up a game. We are even. 1-1 going into game 3. We just run it back. I think we just run it back. Good showing. The Ouroboroid off the top right there. I mean, Ouroboroid, you got Boyded. You know, what can you do? I think that card, it reads very fair, right? It's a creature that doesn't do anything when it enters. You can hold up removal and kill it, but it's so good at closing out the game. It's kind of crazy. I have to mulligan this. No lands. I'm gonna mulligan this as well, unfortunately. Oh, I forgot to bring in another land, but I mean, that's not why I'm seeing these hands, but would have been probably nice to have another land, statistically speaking, on the play here. But, gotta keep this. Couple elves. Harmonizer. We'll keep the elves, we'll keep the Harmonizer. Get rid of the Gear Hulk, get rid of the Fungus. And then maybe we just like turn 1 elf, turn 2 Heirloom elf, turn 3 Harmonizer. Maybe we like draw a Fabled Passage and just hit him for big. Not lethal big, but maybe we get this out early enough that we're like actually drawing cards off of our Herd Heirloom. Or if we go like Heirloom, elf, draw, Earth King would be kind of sweet here. Shelter by Ghosts looking awkward with our mana. In a bit of a pickle. In a bit of a pickle. Not out of it. They also mulligan to 6. I mean, I mulligan to 5. They mulligan to 6. Earth King, good draw. World Wagon is a pretty good draw too, because we could just play the World Wagon instead, grab our white source, and then maybe like untap, draw a land. Unfortunately, we don't have like a particularly high land count right now. Okay. Okay. Rabbit. Let's just play out the Harmonizer. I wonder if they're stuck on no blue mana. Harmonizer lets us maybe consider like draw a white source, Sheltered by Ghosts, their biggest thing, and swing in. They have a blue source. Runeth, Reviver of the Hive. Maybe we just swing in with a Harmonizer anyway. Draw our card, get their paw patch off the field. Nope, they're hitting me. Okay. Yeah. Not the worst position for us. We just start hitting them. There's not a world in which they block there. There's no reason to wait. Ah. Interesting. They Boyd us here. It's pretty good, but we're kind of like wide right now. Cub. And we're kind of in a position where if we like draw a Fabled Passage, an Earth King, or Lumbering World Wagon, like any way to get additional land drops, We just hit them with a big harmonizer and they die. Like, this is not their best start against our kind of deck. Against some decks, this would be very good. 2 talents in a very wide board. But, yeah, not like immediately crushing us into the ground gives us time to one-tap them, hopefully. Okay, swings with both. That's interesting. Do I just have lethal? Land drop. Hit them for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They can block 2 of it. Go to 1. If I draw a white source. I mean, I'm just going to take this, right? If I draw a white source, Shelter by Ghosts. But if I draw a white source and Shelter by Ghosts them, that's not lethal anyway. I'm able to play to my outs here and maybe just kill them. I can't block that well anyway. Oh, there we go. That ought to do it. Let's not be foolish. Play the Earth King. Make sure Auto Tapper doesn't tap your Herd Heirloom here, because it loves, Auto Tapper loves to tap the Herd Heirloom. Player land drop, doesn't matter what's on top. Give our guy trample. Swing with everything. Trigger the Earth King. Hey. There we go. That's Avatar, baby. Alright, off to a nice 2-0 start. You got Earth Kinged. You got Earth Kinged. He's got his bear. He's here to get you. Here to get your ass. Bosco coming at you. And we're ranking up. You love to see it. Slowly dredging our way back up from from the testing that we've been doing. But not that that all really matters. I'm not really the kind of guy that's like playing for. I like to have a high rank because number go up, but I don't actually care about like the end of the season stuff that much, like getting into qualifiers for anything or anything like that. I'm not that familiar with that anyway. Maybe someday, maybe someday. Aristoteles Aldape. Run it back. Match 3. Green-white heirloom landfall. It did it. Earth King was a sweet draw there. More redundancy for our World Wagon plan. This is a good hand. We get to go turn 1 Fungus. Turn 2 activate Fungus. Turn 3 Gear Hulk. Hopefully. We draw another land. Which we're pretty likely to. I guess if we don't draw land, we could consider just Herd Heirloom into another Fungus. I think this is the 3rd Spyglass Siren deck we've run into in a row, right? That sounds right to me. Unless... Oh. Tasty morsel. Play out our stuff. Not much thought to it there, I think. If we don't draw a land, at least we get to go Storm Soul. If we do draw a land, we're probably playing the Gear Hulk. Holding up Harmonizer Passage. They ban a Flood Pits Drowner, which means they're stuck on lands. Which is kind of huge for us. Let's play our Storm Soul. Play our Passage. Let's attack. This is relevant. 16 is kind of a weirdly like relevant number because we have so many 4-power things, and if you double 4, you get 16, which can be like perfect lethal sometimes. They hit their land. Comes in tapped for them, I believe, unfortunately for them. Fortunately for us, they're off to a slow start. We get to search for our white source here. And we have a couple options, actually. We could just play out the Harmonizer double. Or I actually think I like play the Gear Hulk, grab another land drop, and swing. Harmonizer has more upside, actually, because this might lead to a... This sets us up for lethal next turn. We don't get to draw this turn because of it. But I think this is the higher upside play. And now if they have something like Kaito, it doesn't actually turn this off, really. Yeah, if this is just Kaito, it's not really enough. Okay, they dirtled. I think we got them on the dirtle. What can they really do if they like go land Siren? So they tap, they go land Siren. We have... Okay, they don't even tap. Okay, all right. I don't think there's anything that can save them in this position. And they're dead. Sweet. Turned out to be a rough hand for our opponent. On the draw, go down a land. Put a Lush Portico. Let's bring in the Cavern of Souls. This lets us like tap out. Tap out for Gear Hulks a little more freely. Cavern can be a little awkward with Gear Hulk, but as long as you name Construct and just plan to use it exclusively for your Gear Hulks in a certain, like in this kind of tempo-y match, it's fine. Let's bring in, I think we want a couple, probably a couple Smites and a couple Get Losts, just to help mitigate their early pressure and keep them off of, go down one sheltered as well. And answer Kaito when we need to, I suppose. Not sure that it's like perfect, but smites are decent, and if you can smite an Enduring Curiosity, feels pretty freaking good. Deck's looking good, don't you think? Pretty good, I think. Fun. I love. I mean, who doesn't like ramping and getting lands from their deck and hitting your opponents in the face for 20 plus damage? Gear hulking people. Okay, I mean, this is a... I would take this hand basically every time I'm against this deck. Paw Patch Recruit is just so good in this matchup. Paw Patch Recruit is just so good in this matchup. And we have Cavern of Souls for a double Gear Hulk. Just to play around Phantom Interference. Phantasmal Interference? Phantom Interference? You know what I'm talking about. Killing the elf is a little awkward. Good thing we have backup elf. You can maybe make an argument for just playing the Paw Patch Recruit there. Pressuring like a Kaito on a... Say he goes Cecil, bounce Cecil into Kaito. Paw Patch puts a little pressure on Kaito at least. But I think we're doing okay. Against the tempo deck, sometimes you just gotta play with tempo. Taps my elf. I don't think I care about that at all. We'll just play our Paw Patch Recruit. Swings with Kaito. Buffs Kaito, swings with Kaito. No blocks. They have land. Cecil. Siren. Seam Rip. Seam Rip the Cecil? Seam Rip. I only get to Seam Rip or Smite. Seam Rip the Cecil's probably better. It's just hitting me for more right now. Siren is a little annoying in the long term. I could just hold up the Smite. Kind of like just holding up the Smite, maybe. Pass. Kaito's hitting me for big. Turns out tapping the elf hurt me because I missed my land drop here. Okay, holding up the Smite turned out to be pretty good. Ninjas are growing. Do we block? Go for this. And I think maybe I just chump Kaito with my token. A lot of damage. I'm at 11. You know, I can't take 5 forever. They might just have nothing in their hand. All right, we swing at Kaito. We play our Gear Hulk. And we get another paw patch and a land drop, maybe? Maybe another Seam Rip. Kind of like the land drop. Although really what we want is Fable Passage, right? Hydra's interesting. Very good against Kaito. Seam Rip clears up their board very nicely. I think I like this Seam Rip. No, I can just Seam Rip on the next Gear Hulk. I think I'm going to take the lair in case I don't draw land. And I'm going to plan to block with an elf here. Block like that. They fed Cecil into the grinder. Huh. They're drawing cards. They put one into the graveyard. They have removal. But then I get to attack Kaito? Maybe? Untapped mana is kind of sweet here. Let's just move to combat and attack Kaito. I'm assuming maybe they have like Floodplates Drowner? Nope. Okay. Well, I think I'm doing pretty well then. Let's play around. Fire up Restless Reef. And ninjutsu a new Kaito. They don't have enough mana to do all that, but let's just make sure we play another thing here, I think. Get a Hydra and another Seam Rip. Play this Seam Rip and they don't know about our backup Seam Rip. And now I'm feeling pretty good. They'd have to have something kind of crazy here. I mean, I just block. I just block. Block. First strike? I feel like people forget that this has first strike very often. Or did you think I would forget that it has first strike? I'm just gonna start hitting them. Okay. All right, 3-0. 3-0. It's looking solid. Looking solid. Gear Hulk is a house of a card in these kinds of matchups. it's the best card for finding your two best cards, two of your other best card in the matchup. You know what I mean? It's like you have a body that blocks, that draws two cards, and those two cards are also just like unbeatable, basically. In that sort of blue black tempo matchup. Nasty stuff, man. Nasty stuff. Keep it rolling. Match 4. Looks like a good hand. Solid curve out. Little interaction if we're against something aggressive. I'm gonna put them on Reanimator. Anytime I see Raucous Theater, I'm thinking Reanimator. Ooh, a little turn 4 kill, perhaps. Leave that on top. I'm still gonna put them on Reanimator. Let's just seam rip this, because maybe they have a use for this, or maybe they're on some like weird. You see. I'm gonna play the rabbit. You see so much weird stuff on the ladder sometimes. It's like that Terminus of Return makes me think Ugin. Sometimes people are playing like weird like mono black ramp decks into Ugin. I've seen. Well, we have lethal next turn, assuming they can't interact with this, and assuming they don't reanimate like a Valgavoth. But the interesting thing is, even if they reanimate a Valgavoth, like, they do have to block the World Wagon. So, not the end of the world. Demonic Pact. Okay, well, they're dead. Weird. Weird. Y'all gotta get on this World Wagon tech. It is hot. It is hot. Bye. Buy now. What are they playing? They're gonna try to donate stuff. They're donating stuff. We want Get Lost. We want another Hydra, maybe? Our funguses look really good in this matchup. Team Rip looks okay. I don't know. Are they playing some kind of reanimator thing too? They might be. I'm gonna bring in one Soul Guide Lantern just to hedge my bets here. You can always just cycle it. It's not the end of the world. Let's go down Sheltered by Ghosts. Let's go down. Maybe we just want the Seam Rip. Maybe they're playing like multiple 2-mana ways to ramp to 4. Cut a land on the draw. Cut a Cavern of Souls. Try it like that. Fine. We're rolling, gang. Sometimes you just world wagon them, you know? Sometimes you just get them with the wagon. If I could guarantee another land, I think I'd keep that. Looks clunky, but it has a lot of what we like. I'm gonna keep it. Let's put back the Gear Hulk here. Yacha. Whoa. Zuko Conflicted. A little ramp piece. Just a cute little ramp piece. I got Thoughtseize bugged. Mulligan bugged. Draw another Gear Hulk after mulliganing. Cool. Okay. Zuko also donates himself, which is interesting. So I think I'm just gonna kill it. Whatever they want to be doing with this, I don't want them to do it, I think. It, like, ramps them. It means I don't have an answer. Well, no, I still have an answer to a donated pact or something, so that's nice. Fungus is fine. I'm sorry, Voice of Victory is fine. And this fungus is fine too, little buddy. Iroh T Master. What is this guy? Ooh. When Iroh enters, create a food token. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have target opponent gain. Oh, okay. It's the way to donate. When you do, create a 1/1 ally. Sweet. Donate your little mobilize tokens. That's cool. Create a 1/1 ally. Enter on that token for each permanent you own that your opponents control. Attack. Donate a token. Oh wait, beginning of combat, so you can't donate the mobilize. Beginning of combat on your turn, you may have target opponent gain control. Permanent you control. So just give me a food. That's fine. Make a 2/2. That's less fine. Well, I need to draw some lands here. Not lands. Pass it back. Well, now we know what our opponent is up to at least. Maybe we think about Day of Judgment. Maybe we think about Day of Judgment. They're not currently donating a pact, which is nice. So I think we're just going to sack our fungus and hope we hit a land and I roll out the game like that. We don't have a whole lot of time here. This is quite a lot of pressure. But they don't have anything good to give me. And if they give me an ally, they're giving me an ally? No. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna block and sack. Interestingly enough, this could like incentivize them to play out the pact and then I draw a land and fungus it. Yeah. Now draw a land and fungus it. Okay. Okay. Beginning of your upkeep, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Or is not lethal damage. Or I play a wagon. Right, this isn't lethal. They give me the pact. Oh no, this is lethal with the pact. Okay, okay, okay. And I'm probably just dead. Probably just dead. I could play the Storm Soul and block. 4 damage to any target, gain 4. Okay, let's just go to game 3. I think we like go back up a land. Let's think about how we win this. How do we win this matchup? Is it with seam rips? I think so. Is it with the fungus? I think we want some amount of fungus. Paw patch seems not that good, maybe? Soul Guide Lantern doesn't seem necessary. Maybe Sheltered by Ghosts is kind of great. Because it answers kind of anything they have going on. Day of Judgment can be pretty awkward. Let's just go back up the Sheltered by Ghosts and try it like this. We're playing a good mix of, or an interesting mix of creatures and otherwise kind of tough to answer effects, so I think maybe the Shelter by decent. Can't keep this. Let's see a hand with 3 lands. Yes. We can keep this. Not the most powerful. Need a way to crew our wagon. But if we get that, then we might just win. I think I'd rather keep the second wagon over the second heirloom. Because the wagon is another land drop. Seems fine. We'll see what they end up keeping. See if we can hit. Get Lost is fine. Get Lost is fine. We have to go lair here. So we can play wagon on 3. Put it on green. Zuko. Okay. I think we just go for our sort of power move here. Get our wagon going. Hope we draw a way to crew it. Probably choose to draw a card here unless they want to turbo out the pact. Turboing out the pact here is not that good. It doesn't do anything when it enters, right? And I can just untap it and get lost. If I were them, I think I'd just draw a card. I don't know. What do I know? Taking a lot of time to think about this one. A lot of decisions here. Oh, draw a card. Okay. Lose 2. Interesting. 16. Write that down. 16. Notable number here. Play an Iroh. They donate a food. Okay. Bird Heirloom. Let's play another wagon and play the elf. Too early for them to give us a pact, so I don't think we're that worried about that, unless they have some other precious thing to give to us. Okay. I'm gonna play around them having some other cute thing. We can play out an heirloom, play out an elf, hold up the get lost, and then attack the food if we want to. They're almost in the territory where they have to... Oh, they can give me Zuko, right? Rather than having him exiled. This is interesting. They can give me Zuko with Iroh, and then I have to choose exile Zuko, return him to the battlefield under an opponent's control, because he's not leaving when... I would assume that's how this works. He's not leaving when he's being given by Iroh, so technically draw a card and add red have been chosen. Not positive. Fire magic deals 1 damage to each creature. Okay. Can't stop that. Interesting deck. It would be nice if we drew some action here. Do I just get lost the Iroh? And force them to give me Zuko, ultimately? They need the Iroh to pact me anyway. You know? This gives them... It's a little awkward because it's still their main phase, right? I have to do that on their main phase. Gives them some tokens to donate to me if they have another Iroh. Now this forces them to give me Zuko. For real, for real? They play a pact and I draw the right stuff, they're just dead. And by right stuff, I mean Might Form Harmonizer. Kind of an interesting game. I wish they would play a little quicker. It's been their turn for about 10 minutes. Beseech the Mirror. Cool. I expected Beseech the Mirror. But what will they find? Just felt like a Beseech deck. Playing the Terminus, you know? Or the Soulstone, if you will. If you're one of those Spider-Man Yubi normies and you're not through the Omen Path's head, like this frickin' guy, just kidding. I am not a through the Omen Path's head. Okay, well, we draw a wagon. Let's hold back the land drop because that will really seal the deal if we draw a Harmonizer. They have to give me Zuko. Unless they choose to kill him. No. Whoa. They still have a counter. Dang, dude. Still have a counter. Cool card. I don't know if it's good or not, but it's interesting. They've taken a little bit of damage from it. What you got? Giving me Zuko. So now I have to give Zuko back. That's cool. Seam rip. Would have been nice to be able to crew there. Let's just eat the Zuko. Keep them off of drawing new cards. Pass it back. Cross your fingers for a Harmonizer. They have a lot of like weird draws, top decks in their deck, right? Being built around this combo. Their individual like card quality doesn't seem particularly high. They're on inevitable defeats, which is nice for them, but maybe they're holding up in a braid. Gear Hulk is a hell of a draw. Do we want to think about... I think we maybe want to think about casting a rabbit. Or like a fungus and holding up the fungus. Let's use one of our heirlooms here. Kind of seems like they don't have anything. Let's just hit another seam rip and hit a gold vein hydra and just go for it. Like, I don't know what they do about this. We can play our land. This puts him dead next turn. Elf is a fine draw. Little blocker to remove some doubt here. Seems good, right? I mean, okay. Okay. All right, sweet. Hey, 889, feeling fine. 4-0, 4 match wins. Deck's looking pretty good. I mean, let's be real. Like there are a million directions I think you could take the core, right? The core being, White Form Harmonizer, Lumbering World Wagon, Herd Heirloom, Earth King. I think those are pretty solid. Obviously, you back that up with Llanowar Elves, but you're just mono green at that point. You have a lot of options. You could splash into blue. If you wanted effects like Winter Night Story seems really good, or play more of like a graveyard-oriented shell with Icetail Explorer and hitting a bunch of land drops that way. This is pretty decent. I think we're going to keep this. We have our Surveil land. Turn to Heirloom. Hope we hit a land. Boom. It's just that easy. Sometimes you just hit the land. So this is what I would call like the golden start, really. It's like play the Heirloom on 2, play the wagon on 3. Hope you just draw another land. I mean, if we had like another land, great, but our hand is really good otherwise. Hope we draw another land and just kill them. And a lot of people don't see it coming. Like, and the ways in which they don't see it coming is they'll go like, tap out on 2, attack with the Siren, and ninjutsu a Kaito because it's open, it's free and clear, and it's like actually you're just dead in response to that, to all that on the stack in response, kill you. So see if we draw a land. Otherwise we're looking great anyway. We could Hydra on 4 and just start drawing cards, or actually it's probably just better to play the Gear Hulk to start drawing cards off of our World Wagon. Kaito me, I don't care. Do it. Do it, you coward. Do it. I'm sorry, Nana Everlasting. Omae wa mou shinderu. Nani? People just don't see it coming. They're like not. That's some amount of the strength of the deck is that they don't play around this. It's still a little too fresh, you know? Okay, so they're not dead, but they're getting pretty close. Let's go. I'm gonna kill the Kaito. Tap, tap. You know what? Let's just play 2 rabbits. Straight up. No, we have to get a land. Play the Gear Hulk. Grab rabbit and a land. Hold the land drop. Kill the Kaito. Hit you for 1. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Not a whole lot they can have here. I mean, they could have, like, I guess, counter your thing, kill your thing, you know? But, they choose unwisely. They choose unwisely. They are not, they are not familiar with the tech. Just go for it. I'm just gonna hardcast it. I'll have the mana to, like, pay for a counterspell here. Screw up. If what they have here is Floodpits Drowner, then I think we're doing okay. Let's just play out a second wagon. We can buff the recruit on this one. And then still get, like, a draw off our Herd Heirloom. So if all of this goes through, obviously they're dead. I think they're gonna play Floodpits Drowner on my wagon, but then I get to draw off the Paw Patch Recruit, and my recruit doesn't die. Feeling pretty good. Not a whole lot they can do here. They don't know about my Hydra. Look, since the bannings, if blue-black tempo is going to be the new meta, you'll see my ass on a deck playing Paw Patch Recruit. It's just so good. It's just, they have everything they do is like target, 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 you know? Target but don't kill, like, that's the best thing. Target but don't kill. Okay, well then I'm getting big counters. On a Trampler. And they're dead, folks. And they're dead. And they're dead. Don't jinx it now, folks, but we're almost 5-0 F&M hero territory. 5-0 F&M hero. Bring in another Cavern of Souls for our... Let's just board like we did last time. I think we brought in Cavern of Souls, Smites, Get Lost. Took out a couple Fungus, probably. Took out a Hydra, maybe? We can cut a Flush Portico, perhaps. Go down to 1 Sheltered by Ghosts. Something like that. Seems fun. Feeling good. Feeling good. Let me know what you think. If you've made it this far in the video, what do you think? Would you sleeve up something like this? Would you play something like this? Are you getting tired? If you happen to have watched all 3 of my recent videos, are you getting tired of seeing green-white lists? I don't think I ever get tired of seeing green-white lists. I don't know why. Hand doesn't do anything, but it could do a lot. And elf into shelter by ghost is not like the worst game plan I've ever seen. Okay. Now the hand is great. We have elf into recruit into shelter by ghosts on the elf probably. They go untap upkeep. No, deep cavern bat. Okay. Been seeing more bats lately. They probably just have to take the shelter by ghosts, unfortunately for them. Get lost is not a bad draw. We get our rabbits going. They're multiplying. The long goodbye. Let's just put the counters on the elf. If we put the counters on the recruit, yes, it's a nice little trampler, but like now our biggest thing that they want to kill also puts another counter on my paw patch and leaves my paw patch around, so feeling pretty good about that. I think maybe we just get lost now. Get our shelter by ghost back. Maybe we wait and see if they play a bat. I don't think there's a world where they're going to Kaito this deep cavern bat, you know what I mean? I'm going to get lost the bat right now, and then I'm going to put the shelter by ghosts on this elf. They're just missing their land drops and dirtling around. Like, how do they deal with this now? Award 2, lifelink 5/4. How do you deal with it now? You have 2 mana. Did we do it? Still in it? We're hanging out. Flood Pit's Drowner on the play? Or on the main phase Drowner? Okay. Hanging out. Play a Flood Fabled Passage. Keep them off info. Wow. I don't think I would have blocked there because they needed that map on a creature, right? Great. Hey, 5-0. Nice. First 5-0 on the channel. Love to see it. And back up to 735. Ooh. Feeling good. Sweet deck, gang. Sweet deck. Don't you think? Let's break it down. Let's go to a wrap up. What did we learn? Okay. The feature card today, Earth King from Avatar. Did it do anything cool? Yeah, I think it we had one sweet top deck. Let's be honest, we didn't see it a whole lot across our matchups. But it was a sweet top deck to finish out a game with a crucial Mightform Harmonizer swing. And think it came up maybe early on in like against the blue-green Ouroboroid deck, where we swung with a couple 4-power creatures and managed to get enough land drops to really get things going there. But it looked good. It makes sense to me in this deck. I think everything worked pretty nicely. The funguses, kind of wish there was a better option here, like just Llanowar Elves 5 through 8. And that kind of exists in the Gene Pollinators, or maybe like the Molt Tenders. But you kind of need to build your deck to make those function in a way, you know? And I think the fungus randomly is really strong in some matchups. Matchups that are leaning heavily on artifacts and enchantments, and you just have like 4 of these that are tutorable in your deck. We didn't really do any big Gold Vein Hydra stuff. Honestly, like the core of Bright Glass Gear Hulk and Pod Patch Recruit, I think carried us through a lot of the games. Lumbering World Wagon, Harmonizer carried us. Sheltered by Ghost looked pretty good on occasion. That's a wrap, gang. 5-0. Nice. Thanks for tuning in. I've been Eric. Come back to my channel if you'd like to see more of this kind of thing. I'll probably play so much more green-white in the future, but I'm also open to trying other stuff. Let's take a quick look at the new Avatar cards and sort of things that I'm interested in testing in the future. Let's just rare and mythic rare, let's be honest. I can craft any uncommons we want. I think Airbender Ascension is something I'm really excited to test with. In green white. There are so many just like 3 power, 4 power creatures that enter and make a token that you just can consistently recur their ETB effects for big boards. And it's a very flexible, like, they go turn 1 Hired Claw, and like you get to like just keep them off of that for another couple turns is nice and relevant. I think Suki looks pretty strong in the kinds of decks I like to play. More Air Temple decks will probably be present on this channel. As far as outside of white and green, of course, Earth King, Badgermole Cub, probably be sleeving up some Badgermole Cubs at some point. It's just very generically strong. Ramps, goes wide, etc., etc. I think people are pretty on about their evaluations of this card. Although I will say, clunky's not the right word, but like, it's not really always like a 3 power, 2 mana, 3 power creature. You know what I mean? Because you have to tap the land. And it's just otherwise kind of fragile. So, what else am I interested in? I think I'd like to try a deck with Aang at the Crossroads. Just a big value. Enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library, put a creature with mana value 4 or less from among them on the battlefield. Rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Sweet. Just seems fun to cast this guy. What else? That Iroh deck looked kind of sweet. What is this Boomy? Enters Earthbend 4. When Boomy deals combat damage to a player, untap all lands you control. After this phase, they're an additional combat phase. Only land creatures can attack. Interesting. Oh, I think I might build a Phoenix Fleet airship deck. I have enough. I can craft enough. That might be my next play. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the next one.